Hi, everyone. My name is Katie Stanton. I'm the founder and managing director of Moxxie Ventures, an early stage investment firm. And I'm so delighted to be here today to talk about boards. And I'm very honored to introduce two of our panelists and guests. First, we have Edward Norton, who many of you will know as an actor, a filmmaker, an investor, and a founder and a board member. So welcome to this panel today, Edward.
Thanks.
And we also have Henry Ward, the CEO and co-founder of Carta. And I think many of you are probably using Carta. I hope many of you are going to start using Zeck, which we'll talk about as well. Fun fact about both of our panelists is that they are both pilots. And I was Air Force ROTC for a very short period of time. So maybe we can talk a little bit about aviation at some point as well. So welcome, everyone. We have so much to cover. I have many, many questions. I know many of our audience members have questions as well. I first want to start about Zeck, though. I was really excited when Edward launched Zeck because most board meetings suck. And I think Edward built this as a result of that. And how do you make board meetings more efficient, more productive? I promise we're going to talk a lot about boards, but would love to just kick off this conversation about why you built Zeck, Edward. Tell us about Zeck, how to use it, why you launched this. You have a killer day job. You could have done anything you wanted to do in the world. So tell us a little bit about your origin story.
Thanks. Yeah, it's fun to all get together. I definitely have had some friends and family in my life say to me, like, you have a pretty creative and compelling gig. Like, why would you get involved in the esoteric and in some ways even mind-numbingly boring world of board governance and SaaS businesses and things like that. And I admit that it could seem a little it creates some cognitive dissonance. But number one, I don't know, a lot of the things I've gotten involved with in my life, even in a creative sense, in a purely creative sense, have just flowed up. The best things flow up and out of my own interests and experiences. I like gigging as an actor. I've always liked being in it, but even in that realm, the things that I've written and made myself are more satisfying to me. Like things that express, whether I wrote them or not, like a Fight Club, or whether I did write them, like Motherless Brooklyn, things where I'm expressing my own sense of the world, or dealing with what I think are, I don't want to say pain points, but issues that are relatable in terms of, I think there's a reason Fight Club is Fight Club. People relate to what it's about, what it speaks to. I find in life, in the enterprises I've been involved with, they've almost always flowed up and out of things that I've observed that I think are problems that need fixing, things that could be done better, or there are pain points that I've experienced myself. And being on boards might seem esoteric in some sense, but in truth, that's been a big part of my life experience as an adult since I got out of college, starting with my own theater company, and being on the boards of arts groups and environmental organizations, and then later corporations and stuff like that. And I've actually spent, at this point, I'd probably be horrified to look at the quantity of hours I've spent involved in either preparing for board meetings for my own companies and nonprofit organizations, or just sitting on them. And I think I came to actually believe, like really feel and believe that it's not actually sort of a down in the weeds, boring corporate governance thing. It's actually organizations, nonprofit and corporate organizations, are a huge part of our culture. We get together to get things done. We advance a business agenda, or we advance a mission-driven agenda, and we're getting together with other people, creating teams. And the idea of a board is a really philosophically sound one. If you think about it, it is, in theory, you're pulling together people who are veterans, best in class at the domain in which you're working, or who have had similar business experiences, or have expertises in some thing, and you're bringing them together to help advance the cause of the organization. You know, it's supposed to be an arm or a wing of the organization. And in theory, it should be positive and it should be supportive of the management and supportive of things. And so to realize and acknowledge that we've kind of gotten to this place where I would bet on balance, more people and organizations view the dynamics between boards and organizations as negative than positive is sort of like cultural. It's a cultural negative. It's actually a drag on the quality of the experience that a lot of people have within the organization that they work in. And so I actually relate to it. I actually do get a sense of fulfillment out of working on what is it in a philosophic sense, but also what is it that the tools that are being used can contribute to improving the relationship and the value of a board within an organization. And I'll just preview that it's been very satisfying. Zeck, yeah, it's esoteric in a certain way, but we get back an almost emotional level of gratitude for what the product is helping people not only save time on in a quantitative sense, but in a qualitative sense. They're reporting to us that it's really improving those interpersonal dynamics. And that's quite satisfying, actually.